Yalpelor.
Good evening. Welcome
That
to
seemed painful.
Questers of Yalpelor.
It'll hurt later.
Nasal of Yalpelor. Throat singing of Yalpelor.
Yes. We pay respect to all cultures. Questers of Yalpelor is a culturally sensitive weekly online improvised adventure game comedy show. My name is Itamar. I'm your host and game master. And with me are four hilarious improvisers and actors from all over the world to travel through the lands of Yalpelor with me. With us tonight we have Matt playing Grubble Bumblin Esquire, a quarterling bubblemancer desperately seeking to reclaim his family fortune. We have Jada playing Triss, a nebulous summoning who's only recently gained sentience, now gleefully exploring life in Yalpelor with their new friends. We have Talia playing Atlas Darkmoor, traveling Death Knight with an ancestral sword and lots of family history. And we have Vincent with us again, even though we deceptively said that he's going to be joining us for 2 episodes. He's going to join us for tonight as well, playing Trieto Odin, who was discovered quite early and almost immediately to be 3 gnomes stacked on top of each other in a trench coat.
He's what?
She's back by popular demand.
I'm sorry.
Shocked. Shocked, I say.
Random pile of limbs.
Make it happen. It's on you. You can make it happen. So thank you, Vincent, for joining us again. These players are here not just to play their characters. Part of the fun for me is that I've asked them to invent and flesh out details in the game world, play other characters, segue into unexpected scenes, and all in all, make my job as game master more interesting and chaotic than it would otherwise be. You can also influence the game. You can use your XP to activate special commands, which will take the game in different directions. For instructions, you can scroll down below the video and see the commands that you can use. Game system. The game system that we're using is Macchiato Monsters. It's an old school game in the style of D&D that I really like. We're using assets and creations by all sorts of awesome fans and artists from all over the web. If you're interested in any of the images and sounds you're seeing on streams, you can scroll down below the video. You can see the full list of awesome creative people, and you could check their stuff out for yourself. And now it is time for a word from our sponsor.
Hello, darlings, and welcome back to our favorite segment, merch that doesn't exist but should. And today, I am delighted to present to you with a new product, the Trieto Trench Coat. Big enough to hold 3 very small people, if that's the kind of thing you need. Made from whatever they make trench coats out of. Has many pockets where you can keep your scrolls or your sewing kit or your weasel, whatever you need. Available in any color, as long as it's beige. Grab yours now while they're still available and cuddle up in your Trieto trench coat. So go to our shop at figmentrp.com/coats. I don't know, man. It's been a long day. Back to you, Itamar.
That's the full thing. It's coats. I don't know, man. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what Vincent, what was the thing that the thief was trying to steal in the bottle again?
Some kind of antidote.
Antidote, that was the word I was looking for, because I was going to be like, oh, Talia, will it hold the antidote? But then I couldn't remember the word antidote and I gave up.
It can hold anything you need.
Anything you want, baby.
Is it like a coat of holding?
Ooh.
It sure is.
Sure is or sure is?
It sure is.
Shortbiz should become a saying in the world, but I don't know what it means yet. Yeah, cool. Thank you very much, Talia. Merch that doesn't exist but should is going to return in the future. So in the previous episode, our heroes ended a harrowing fight on a riverboat on the way to No Man's Land. Today they are done with the voyage. It's been another couple of days since the fight. Anyone who was wounded or used any special abilities, you can get all of your hit points and special abilities back.
Hooray for all of them. I was pretty...
Is that because... I was going to say, is that because Triss has been able to ask lots and lots of questions to Trieto and anyone else on the boat?
Yeah, Triss has gotten their resources back the usual way, which is to pester people with questions about anything that they can lay their eyes on. All the rest, you just went to sleep. If you're seriously
Alone
wounded,
in separate beds.
Of course.
Separate single beds next to people that they care about deeply.
Single beds that are separate. And are
Rebel,
not touching.
if you were a little bit more seriously wounded, I remember, mostly my fault. I
was,
think I
yes.
cast a lot of spells in that fight. You need to roll. Basically, you get 2 nights of sleep, which is 2 of your hit dice.
Knew you'd say this.
Yeah, but you get advantage on both of them. So roll each of them twice and take the higher result because you're in a relatively comfortable bed in your bunk. It's like even though it's a boat, it's like a real bed. So you can roll twice and take the higher result.
That's four times.
It's all 4s. Cool. So you get a total of 8. It's 2 highest ones are 8. A total of 8 back. How wounded are you now?
I'm now on 16 out of 20 hit points.
Still a little bit wounded. Yeah, all right.
If only Wilk was here to uncomfortably touch you.
Don't even say
if
it.
only there were a healer that we didn't actively dislike.
Triss does not actively dislike Wilk, but Triss picks up on how much Atlas doesn't like Wilk and how much Grubble is ambivalent. And Triss is just very confused, and Triss is natural, and friendliness has just sort of been swept in the moment.
That's all understandable, but the result of all that is still that you don't have a healer.
The one who hated Wilk the most was Marigold the horse.
Probably.
If that makes you feel better, if that helps you sleep, next to Drilliam every night.
Marigold,
who's not touching.
By the way, Marigold, who's been left behind, I hope you realize you can't bring Marigold on the boat with you. Marigold is safely in the castle. Eating the highest quality fruit and vegetables.
Wait, would we have left Marigold in the castle, or would we have been more likely to leave Marigold with Wilk because at least we knew Wilk would protect her with her life?
Oh wait, you left Marigold in an inn stables, right? In the not the Midway.
No, the Midland.
The Midland.
In the Midland. Yes, that's where you left Marigold. So that's where she is, and I mean she's having fun.
Well, to be fair, we paid them very well.
Yeah, you're going to throw them some gold.
And we trust them, unlike Wilk.
Perfect.
And we asked Timothy Guardsman to just pop over every now and again and check on her.
Yeah. So so she's been left behind, but she's very comfortable and safe where she is. When next time you want to go on an adventure, you can go pick her up, and it'll be perfectly fine.
Guys, that means we have to go back to EMAG at some point.
That's a piss off.
Oh well.
Never mind that. Now you are stepping foot on no man's land. Now, looking at the island from afar, the last couple of hours of your voyage on the river. It looked a little bit different than maybe you expected, everyone but Trieto, who comes from there. The 3 of you were expecting an island housing the image of the gnome in your mind, and what you filled in, what must be their houses and the island they live on around it. It doesn't at all look like the island that you're on. The island that you are getting close to looks brown. And filled with piles, visible even from afar, of trash. Those trash barges sailing constantly to the north in the direction of your voyage must be all stopping in no man's land and letting off all the trash in huge piles on the shore in what looks like a big industrial area. The island is not green. Even farther inland, where you can see, as far as you can see, it's all brown, and the gray of buildings, shiny and metallic in some places. Obviously, these buildings have been built from the trash, as well as everything else that you can see around you. The pier that you're walking on is discarded debris that's been masterfully connected together and bolted to form the pier that the boat is being moored on as we speak. all the rest, like the tools that they're using, even the clothes of the gnomes there, unlike Trieto's clothes, they're clothes made out of the trash that have been discarded in other places and brought here. Yes, Grubble.
So when Greville steps off the boat, he has to grab onto the side as he steps off the boat. And as soon as he's grabbed the side, he starts casting little bubbles to clean his hand. And he's just sort of looking around at everything and not touching anything. And he's got kind of this force.
So this maybe looks really wrong and dirty and disgusting for you, but you touch some of the surfaces of like the railing, yeah, and you like the handholds, and you immediately cast your little bubbles to wash them, but you realize this place is actually not that dirty. The piles of trash a little bit inland towards where large warehouses and factories seem to start, it seems to be fresh garbage that is as smelly as you would expect it to be. But the things that they make out of this garbage, the pier that you're walking on, the poles that you're leaning on when you make your way to the shore, they're actually clean. They just look like trash. Yeah,
but it smells bad, right?
It's the air smells bad because there's fresh trash a little farther inland.
I'm gonna do the spell that makes the little bubble mask, so that I don't have to smell it.
Cool.
I'm just gonna wear a little bubble mask over my mouth and nose.
It's like inflating a bubblegum balloon, right? Just forms inflating outside.
It just sort of goes in and out a little bit with my breath.
You're like the most snobbish tourist ever.
That's right.
Triss, go
Correct.
ahead.
I mean, I had this great joke about no man's trash is another man's treasure, but too little, too late. Triss, I think, is fascinated by these just piles because Triss doesn't smell anything. So it just kind of looks like shinies everywhere. And unless someone has specifically told Triss that this is trash and they shouldn't touch it, they're going to go play with the trash and see if there's anything exciting. And they'll probably use their new spoon.
The trash is not right here. It's like you have to go 30 meters in, like behind some buildings, like to the next line of buildings. So you all see Triss like going away, basically. Do you stop Triss?
Okay, wait. Sorry. I was under the impression that there was trash everywhere. So that's sort of, if that's not everywhere. The case.
Maybe, you know what? There might be one pile of trash, like just freshly offloaded from the latest part. So there's one close by. Yeah, so you can go and pick through that.
So Triss is just going to kind of hop off of Aklis's shoulder then and right at the trash.
All right.
Aklis is just looking around curiously, taking it all in, not being a snob, but also not rolling in trash.
Trieto, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I can imagine the three brothers in the trench coat stepping off on the pier and then just having a big whiff of the dirty air, and then with a straight face saying, "Ah, gnome, sweet gnome."
Yes. Excellent. Excellent.
The captain and the crew wave you goodbye. You see that they very purposefully they don't step on the pier even. They look at you walking away, and around you you don't see anyone who's actually on the island who's not a gnome. They all seem to be gnomes in the middle of their working day. They're wearing working clothes, rough clothes made from things that weren't supposed to be clothes originally, like panels, wood panels sewn together into a working, like a protective outfit, or canvas bags, basically beads sewn together in some kind of a vest. Anything that they could make something that resembles clothes or even protective or work clothes out of. And there you see a yellow one, a bright yellow one. There is a dark green, grass green gnome that's walking in the other direction, and they're all walking towards doing some work or other. Some of them are working on the trash, on the pile of trash that you are starting to pick through, Triss. When they see you come closer, they look at you a little worried, and they kind of just walk back and go to do something else, go on their business, to do something else in another area.
Hi!
Leaving, they wave, they say hello, but they don't really want to interact too much, and they just go away. They leave the pile of trash to you to do whatever you want. Yeah, they're not really looking for interaction. But you do have.
No one wants to say hi.
Not here, not right now. That's true. Drilliam it joins you, the main group. Aklis and Grubble standing like between you. He's kind of assumed the position of a soldier, almost like a bodyguard that you know from before, like from when you were out, when you just found him. You were in the forest, and when you were walking. When you walked outside of EMAG or you walked towards the boat, and you, whenever you meet new people, he always like assumes this like ready for anything pose of the ready for anything, ready for a fight at the drop of a dime.
Hot.
Well, Triss, you pick through the trash. Do you want to roll a d20?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
I do.
Go ahead.
I hope it is nothing. I hope it is so smelly. 7.
Let's see that.
Again,
7.
so you just have this image for the record. Triss has no sense of smell. So you just see them kind of like holding this little spoon that they got from Trieto from the last batch of trash. And they're just rooting in there and shiny. Oh, it's ripped. Oh, I wonder what that is. Oh, it's a bag.
Cool. You see a something that's looks a little shinier than the rest inside.
Not a banana peel. Excellent.
Yeah, exactly. It's not organic. It's not anything that goes bad. It's actually, when you pull it out, it's a piece of fabric, and it's colored in strong, bright colors, and you see when you unroll it, you see that it's very high quality, silky fabric that shimmers in the light of the sun as you open it up. What you see there is actually a symbol, a nobility symbol, a symbol of a noble family. This is something that's been randomly rolled, so how about we kind of make this symbol together? We decide what this symbol is exactly, and maybe even which family it belongs to if we want to. So let's go in reverse order of what we see on screen. We'll start with Vincent. How about you give us the color of the banner itself, the background of the symbol? What color is it?
I think the color is, it's two color, two thick lines. One is a very bright neon pink.
Wow.
And the other is something that fits, a pastel orange. Very color blocking.
Pastel orange?
Yeah.
All right. Talia, tell us please what the shape of the crest itself is, the general shape of the silhouette of the crest in the middle of this banner.
Okay. What do you mean the shape, though?
Like if it looks like a bird, or are you talking about the outside shape, like the shield?
Right, the silhouette, the outside shape of the symbol on the middle.
Is a sure hope I'm saying it right, but it's a dodecahedron.
Dodecahedron.
Love it.
Or no, I guess that's the 3D version. Whatever, you know what I mean.
I mean, it's a 2D representation of a dodecahedron. We've all seen it. We've all seen it multiple times. Cool. So Jada,
I think it's
tell
just
us,
a dodecagon.
please. Huh?
It might be just a dodecagon. Don't worry about it. Someone will tell us at Twitch chat.
I don't know.
Yeah, Chad, do your thing.
I mean, is it just a 12-sided shape, or is it actual representation of the D12 die?
It's a 12-sided shape.
Oh, okay. So it's not a dodecahedron. It's something like what
I don't know math.
Matt said.
There's a lot of angles.
Not even math.
I'm gonna
Like
say
the more you play with the fabric, more angles of it kind of appear and come out. It's exactly
something like that.
similar.
Jada, please tell us another detail that you can see when you look from more like close by on the dodecagon. Inside.
There are crossed what almost look like, if you're Canadian, hockey sticks, but what they are two L's going in opposite directions crossed over, because the name it belongs to is the Lichtles.
Wait, I'm gonna need that repeated in a second. With crossed L shapes.
Yes.
On
so
it.
Like,
the name is what?
Lichtles.
Spelling.
LICHTLESS.
And
come on, I had to.
Is that two words?
No, it's two words in the sense that Darkmoor, for example, is two words.
Right. Okay. Cool.
So it's one word.
Yes. Sure.
You got it. Grevel got it. Matt got it.
Last detail.
I just realized that by those standards, Darkmoor is DM, so maybe Aklis is secretly pulling all the strings and running the whole game.
Anyway,
I can
next
neither
scene,
confirm nor deny these accusations.
You need to give the last detail, Matt.
Yes.
You how about do you want to give a motto underneath the crest?
Oh, okay. Out of darkness comes licht.
Yes! Thank you. That's exactly what I was hoping you would say.
Out of darkness comes licht. Oh my god.
That sounds kind of gross.
How very German/Dutch.
I mean, I was definitely going on the German. I spent far too long living in Western Europe. Or actually, yeah, it could also be Dutch. So both of the countries that I live in. Except, isn't it, if it's Dutch, isn't it like LIJT?
No, it's LICHT.
Oh, so it's still Licht.
But we also use the consonant CH is the same as G. So we say
Okay. This is too deep into pronunciation.
It's okay. We'll use the German pronunciation. I think it's going to be easier in the back of our throats.
We don't have time for this, please.
My throat has suffered enough today.
Oh my god.
What happened to your throat today?
You want to take this banner with you, Triss?
So Triss like flaps it about, kind of like swings it around, because they've seen Drilliam kind of in their suit, and they've seen people with capes on, and they just sort of like whoop. And then they're like, and then they kind of put it over their head and they pretend to be a ghost.
All right.
But then, yeah, I think if no one says anything or takes it, or if no one is paying any attention, then Triss probably just puts it inside of them.
Rebel's not going to stop Triss from doing any of that, but he is going to turn to Trieto and say, if you have cloth, then why is everyone wearing trash?
What do you mean, trash?
The things that people are wearing as clothes aren't normal clothes materials, are they? They can't be comfortable.
Well, we're all very comfortable here. I don't really understand. We take the things that nobody else wants and we give it new life. It's not because you don't like it anymore that it is not loved anymore. And we make sure that every last piece of discarded material is loved again here in No Man's Land.
Grevel, could I possibly speak to you for a moment?
Yeah.
Privately.
No problem.
Ooh, so Trieto, you think
drag him aside?
Yeah, and Triss will like immediately just be like playing. The cloth is half in and half out of Triss. And they're just sort of waving it, seeing if the wind picks it up, playing with Trieto, showing it off.
Grevel.
Yeah?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're not very well traveled, are you?
Not to places like this, no.
Right. No, I haven't been here before either, but the thing is, you were being a bit culturally insensitive.
Right.
Do you understand?
Because I assumed that they'd want to wear clothes the way their other people do.
Right. And you also implied that their lifestyle or their choices, you know, as a culture are morally inferior to yours. And that,
Oh.
you know, that might hurt some people's feelings.
Oh. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Right. So I suggest as we traverse these foreign lands, perhaps you should attempt to be a bit more, you know, sensitive to the people around you and respecting of their culture and ways, even if they do seem quite quaint.
I tell you what I'll do. I will mostly not comment, and I will follow your lead.
Thank you. I knew you'd see sense.
All right.
I think Trieto's waiting
Let's go back.
When you're done and just walking back from your conversation, you see a group of, well, not a group, two gnomes who are walking towards you. One of them is a dark... what is the color of the magic using one, Vincent?
The magic using one is light purple.
Light purple, and his name is?
His name is
Gribok, right? I think it's Gribok.
Gribok.
Eagle.
I remember that one. Yes. Okay. So it's very light purple, similar to Gribok, that gnome that is approaching you, and the other one is red, a bright red. They're both walking towards you. They're wearing fancy clothes that seem like they're made of some kind of papyrus, like thick papery material that's been cut and shaped to like a suit. The purple one seems to be feminine, and she turns to you. She walks towards you. She smiles. She seems happy and surprised to see you, and she comes and she reaches out with her hands and she says, "Welcome. It is. I'm very happy to see you here. You're a little bit early, but you came. We were expecting you a little later in the day."
Who's she speaking to?
To all of you, the group of you.
All of us. Okay.
Hi.
Yeah, hello there. Hello. I am. My name is Bolerka. I am here to welcome you and to make sure that you see everything you need to see.
Oh, that's amazing, because we like to see all of the things, and that's really exciting, because when we're doing the Agents of Chaos, we want to be able to have everything. Have you seen all this trash? Oh. It's amazing. My name is Trisistris, but you can call me Tris.
Nice to meet you, Trisistris. How about you? She turns to the other three. She doesn't turn to Trieto because she sees a gnome or gnomes. She turns to Aklis, Grubble, and Drilliam, and she says, "What are your names?"
Grubble looks up at Aklis first and doesn't say anything.
Hello, I am Aklis Darkmoor,
Mm-hmm.
and these are my colleagues. I should clarify, we're not all Agents of Chaos. Tris is indeed an Agent of Chaos, and Grubble, I'm not actually sure if he's affiliated with Chaos or not, but I am most definitely not an Agent of Chaos.
But I'm affiliated. I'm affiliated with Aklis, and we're friends.
Good, very good. It is great to have you here. And if you want to be refreshed first, or would you like to take the tour right away?
Shubba bop bop, Grubble Bumblin, shubba bop badoo.
And that is just you presenting yourself, introducing yourself to.
Ithamel, do you not speak Shorb?
Are you the only one that doesn't? Because we've all been learning.
We've all been studying.
Yeah, we've been studying for this moment.
I've been putting it off. I'm sorry. It was very irresponsible.
You'll have to just get it on Duolingo. It's a good one.
Yeah. It's the only one on Duolingo that's purely vocal.
You can't write it.
No, you can write it, but in order to ensure that you have a true and thorough comprehension of the language, they need you to write it and then immediately speak it so that you can properly explain syllabically and with tongue movements exactly what you're trying to do. Because Shorb written is not complicated, but Shorb spoken like Chinese is completely different depending on intonation.
Yeah, so
You
I'll
said
keep that
tongue
in mind.
movements.
I'll keep that in mind. Jeez.
Yes, I did.
Her eyes widen in shock to hear you say it, and she repeats in the common language. Your name is Grebel Bumblin. It is very nice to meet us. Yes, it is true. Trieto, roll wisdom, please. Vincent?
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Vincent?
Oh, I.
Hello.
This is the name of your
I
character.
thought you said Grebel. Okay.
I also, to be fair, thought you said Grebel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, me too.
Oh, I definitely heard Vincent.
Jeez.
No, I heard Grebel.
Perfect. This
Wisdom,
is how
right?
comedies start. All right.
Yes, wisdom. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is. She's in a very uncomfortable position. I mean, physical position of time. She freezes for a second. She seems like her whole body clenches for a second. She expects something bad to happen, but then she immediately passes. And it's also like real shock, cognitive shock, just to hear that he speaks Shorb. It's something that she not just wasn't expecting; it's shocking to her. Unclear why
Aklis.
exactly.
Aklis, I've bumbled it. Sorry.
She after a little uncomfortable pause, she continues the conversation as if nothing happened, and she turns to the gnome next to her, and she says something in Gnomish. And he like jumps up in the air and shrinks and becomes a long decorated feather, which she just snatches through the air, pulls out some paper from a pocket in her coat, which is the same kind of paper she's wearing. Just this one is in like the shape of just a bunch of pages, and she starts writing with the feather. There's no ink. The feather just writes as if it's always dipped in ink when she's writing.
He's so cool.
Pages.
She should be our friend.
Yeah, and she writes down your names, and she starts writing down today's conversations and where you're going and the hour where you go to each place. So she's writing down the current hour in the morning that you're standing on the pier and you're introduced to each other. And then she looks at you again and she says, all right, so shall we be on our way to refreshments or to the tour? Tell me.
I think I'm not hungry. Should we just go straight on the tour?
Let's go on the tour. Just to clarify, where are we touring? Is this a tour of the harbor or?
Right there. She points at where the factories and warehouses begin, the industrial area behind the harbor. Just a couple of minutes walk from here it starts. To look at the assembly lines and the factories and the warehouses.
Do
Of
people?
course.
Okay.
Great.
Okay. Sorry. Carry on.
Great. I would not want to keep you waiting. We're very, very grateful. Come. And she turns around. She starts walking. She lets the feather go just midair, and it expands back to the gnome that was standing.
Amazing.
Next to her, and the bright red gnome, and they walk ahead, leading the column of the. I need to count. 7 of you. Trieto, she definitely notices that you're there. She just didn't give any kind of special attention to your presence. she kind of is assuming you're part of the group, but for some reason didn't ask to be introduced.
Trieto, I've got all these copies that I made of the secret that you brought back. I was about to offer one to her, and then I thought, oh, maybe not.
Don't do that. Don't trust anyone yet.
Okay.
All right. She's walking.
Don't trust anyone, and also don't be rude.
Learning a lot today. You're walking between two sheds where they're keeping parts for fixing boats and ships, also made out of trash that's been repurposed and pretty expertly actually been turned into actual supplies with which you can repair a boat. And behind that shed, there's a warehouse. You go around it, and you get into the area where they're actually working. It is an industrial area with constant movement through it. People are walking and driving large carts that are set on rails on the ground. There's rails that are splitting off and combining from different areas to
like
other areas.
Miners, they're in miners' carts kind of thing?
Yeah, miners' carts. Yeah, only the carts are not like anything else here. The carts are not cast in one mold. Each one is made from a different thing. Some of them are made from discarded closets that have been made into carts. Others from I don't know, anything that's in the shape of something that can hold something. There's one that's a copper bath. A copper container that obviously was big enough to be used as a bath in somebody's house. Now it's a cart with which they just pull different kinds of trash between the warehouses and into other spaces where they work on them to separate them, sort them, and make them into useful things.
This is very technologically advanced. It's very impressive.
Mm-hmm. It obviously is. They know exactly what they're doing. They're working like clockwork. They really are well. Everyone, like every gnome knows its place, and you see some of the gnomes doing similar things to what you've seen Trieto and your host. Her name Bolerka. Yeah, you've seen Bolerka do as well. One of them needs to shovel something, and he calls one of his friends a pale pinkish gnome. The gnome turns into a shovel. His friend holds him and just shovels out of the way the trash that needs to shovel out of the way, and then he just lets it go. It turns back into a gnome, and he walks away to work on his own thing. And you see this happening. One of them turns into a hammer. Another one is a large, heavy pair of pliers. They're all different kinds of tools when they're needed. And in other times, they're gnomes who operate all this machinery and the other tools around them. And you're in all this commotion. She points around and she says, "This is our main hub of production. We use all the incoming material to produce the finest work, and it gets better from year to year. You wanted to see the production process up close, yes?"
Oh, if I might ask, what are you producing exactly?
Oh, everything that you might want to use. We produce every tool, our housing, our clothing, our modes of transportation, even organic things are used as compost to grow our food here when we grow our food. We don't have fertile earth, we don't have any natural resources, minerals to dig out of the earth, no metals, precious metals or gems, nothing else we can produce from the land. No man's land is barren, so we make do with these materials, and we have become quite proficient at it.
They're beautiful.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Let me show you in this factory, our main factory. And she guides you in. You follow?
Sure.
I think I'm probably back on Atlas's shoulder, but I'm very excited. Triss is definitely intrigued.
Drilliam is on
Don't see
high
a reason not
alert.
to.
He's walking super close to you, like between you, trying to cover all the area around, looking around him, making sure that nobody can sneak up on you. You're walking quite close to where these gnomes are working. With lots of hiding places. Any of them can sneak up, but none of them even give you a second look. They just all are very much concentrated on their work. And yeah, you go in the factory. Rhythmic sounds of hammering and sawing and wheels turning, moving large strips of material. Just random objects are filling the air around you. You see them sorting the different items into different categories, and then there's one line where they make clothes. So they get these materials that somebody decided are good to make clothes out of. Somebody, up the line, somebody there decided to put these materials in this line, and there's gnomes there who use their friends as long sewing needles. The threads and the glue that they use are also other repurposed garbage that they got from other places in the world. They make furniture. They make, one line is for household items, dishes and cutlery, and you just all this around you on 3 different floors. You can see above you also other floors that you can see through the graded material that's served as the floor of the upper floors. You can see the work being done up there as well. More and more things are being produced in this factory, and all of it is taken out through one open wall, one of the edges of this huge space, and piled in piles. Things that actually seem useful, things that actually seem like they can be used as what they're supposed to be: the furniture and clothes and dishes and books and shelves and whatever else. She starts showing you around. She starts showing you who makes what, whose job is what. Some of them are managers who manage the different lines, and she just takes you around in a long winding path around the lines. Yes, Grubble.
Did you say that they were also making books?
They are actually making books, yes. Yeah.
Right, so when we get close to the people making books, I look at Trieto and I try to sort of, not saying anything, I sort of go like, this one, but with my eyes.
Grubble, Matt, did Grubble give everyone copies of the note?
I could well have done. I probably wouldn't have given them to Triss. Sorry, Triss.
But never mind.
That was hurtful.
Only so.
I've been accidentally hurtful to strangers and to my own
strangers and friends alike.
Colleagues.
This is a different line. It looks very different from all the others. It's small, and it's actually not a long production line, busy with all the rest. It's just somebody's dumping materials which are good for making books out of, and there's just some people here, just a half dozen gnomes sitting around and sewing them and gluing them into what can be used as notebooks, books, whatever else.
Oh, because I had this idea for whatever reason that they were taking remnants of books or magazines and they were making books out of existing books.
So some of them are exactly that. They are parts of existing books sewn together into books that are just, 50 pages of that and 100 pages of something else. Some of them are empty notebooks meant to be used or to be filled in. Some of them are just covers for books, for people to write new books and just glue the cover on. But some of them are books that already have content that's just been dredged from other materials.
And if Grubble had shared the note with Triss, then that would have been exciting. But alas, he did not.
It will never happen. All right. Okay, unless you do something, about half an hour later, you're done with this tour. And she starts...
this is just, I never got a reaction from Trieto about whether or not to hand a flyer to the bookmakers.
Okay.
As I don't think that's a good idea. We don't know who we can trust here in the bookmakers. I think that maybe we can try and sneak in at night and try to use the production line ourselves.
Oh, that's clever. Okay.
All right. So it is about a half-hour tour, and you're walked outside eventually to where all the completed items are also waiting to be sorted and shipped to warehouses, and then some of them are shipped out. They don't sell anything for money outside. Also inside, they don't have a money-based economy, and they don't sell anything outside of the island. They just have surpluses and just give. Like the barges that come in that they don't have to pay anything for. It's just other people's garbage, so they don't make money off of the things that they produce. They don't even expect it. And here, everyone gets what they need. If somebody's clothes wear out, they just give them new clothes. That's just the way they work. And that's the way that they're used to live.
Well, so much for coming here to make money.
I mean, it's very obvious you coming from a family that owns some means of production, let's say, that there's immense economic power here if somebody harnessed it, but they don't use it to make money. They don't use it to make a profit. So you notice it almost immediately, of course. Yeah, you know to recognize that when you see that. And then the tour ends, and she asks if you have any questions. Do you?
So people just get whatever they want or need, because I could use some gold. Is there any about?
Gold. Some of the items we produce are made of gold. Yes. You want gold cutlery?
Sure. Don't see why not.
Mm-hmm. Some gold pins or brooches to hold your hair or your clothes.
Yeah, it'd be quite nice.
All right. So she sends a couple of the workers out to bring you these items if you need anything
And then
else.
after I've said that, I look at Aklis and I'm like, was that bad?
It seemed to be okay.
I should
Once again, getting
should have run it past you first. Sorry.
It's quite all right. I think you were quite courteous, and I just hope gold doesn't have some sort of meaning in the culture that we're unaware of.
Oh! Guys, now that she's gone, I'm whispering. I am very quiet, just like you told me, whispering. But now that she's gone, should we give people the papers?
Trieto said not yet.
Oh.
Well, yes, I do think it should be his decision.
All right, so they're back. They're giving you a bunch of describe it any way you want, like golden items, household golden items that are worth a D8 of gold.
Way! It's nice.
So it's a separate bag from all the rest of your money. So add it to your steadily increasing pile of gold in your never-ending bag of. It's not quite a bag of holding. What was it? A jar of holding?
It was like a cylinder of
holding.
It's like anything that can fit inside, like the size of a hand.
Oh right, yeah.
So like a Pringles can.
Yeah, it's a slightly wider than a Pringles can, and not quite as
can of holding.
I didn't want to say.
Like it's like a tea box type thing, but your hand can go all the way.
I wonder if Vincent is with us. Vincent, are you still connected?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm having a little issue with the internet, but I'm fixing it. So I can still hear everything, but that's about it.
Cool, so just participate as much as you can, just by voice. Cool. And then you're led to your quarters, unless you have more questions.
We're given quarters? Why are we given quarters?
On the way, she says...
I think that Triss is also confused, and Triss is gonna start asking questions.
So on the way, what she says, she is very, very excited by the fact that you are here, and I am certain that you will be able to start your research even while you are staying with us. Obviously, we cannot have you as guests for too long, because you will need to be chaperoned while you are you're out of your quarters, but you can be here for all the day today and all day tomorrow before you leave the day after. Whoops, Vincent is gone. Let's go.
It's fine. I'll just lean sideways.
Let's fix
Oh
this
no!
thing. Let's fix this thing.
I don't know what it is you want.
You need to be. Oh no, man! This picture is not in the right place.
No.
Oh no, we're all so frazzled.
Here.
Hey!
Okay.
Oh!
That's me.
All right.
Trieto. Oh no.
That's it.
It's
Back
the
to
point.
normal, everyone. Good. Thank you, Vincent. That's awesome. Good to have you back. And yeah, so she says that I'm sure you'll be able to start your research. Also, from comments she made while the tour was going on, you got the impression that without having been told anything about it, she just assumes that Trieto are your guides / servants while you're here. You hired them in order to show you around and tell you and guide you here. So that's kind of what she's assuming. She never asked about it. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. What other questions do you have on the way?
If they take us to our quarters and we're separate from her, I want to ask everyone, what time did she say they were expecting researchers? Because if they show up and then
Yes, that
we're
would
in
be
their
very
room,
embarrassing.
we might want to get a move on. I think she said afternoon, like later today.
I think you're right.
So we might only have a couple of hours before we get found out. What's the plan? Trieto, Drilliam, how are we gonna handle things from here?
I think the first place that I really would like to go now is to my parents' place, because I know that I can trust my parents.
Yep, I'm up for that. Drilliam, you agree?
Very reasonable.
Aren't you worried that they might be in danger if they know this information and maybe they're found out later?
I'm constantly worried about my parents, but they love me and they would do everything for me. And they are the only people that I know 100% certain that I can trust with this information.
Well, that's good enough for me, of course. Whatever you decide, I
well.
just wanted to know the risks.
I have a question. I hope it's not rude. Apologize if it is. All the three of you are brothers, right? You've all got the same parents.
Yes.
That's right. Okay, good. Carry on.
Why did you ask that question? Is it because we look alike?
It's because you're all these beautiful different colors and you're all different and nice, and I just want to get to know them. Do you sometimes stay out of the trench coat so I can learn all about you?
Of course we go out the coat. I mean, it is really hard standing on my brothers, but here we try and hide our face so that people don't recognize us.
All right.
Your parents live nearby?
Do you see that big, that slightly purplish colored house made of different shiny garbage with the forks on top and the spoons at the bottom?
That
Yeah,
one?
I see it.
Yes, they're way in the back. That's my parents' home.
All right.
I say let's go.
All right. When you walk outside of the place where they left you, it's a nice little building with a few rooms. Apparently, some other gnomes live in other apartments, and you are all led into one apartment. It's got enough space to house all of you, several rooms in it. And when you walk outside, you see that in the entrance there are two gnomes who have been left to make sure that you don't go unchaperoned out on around no man's land. So
Hello.
they're very polite. Their names are Rostos and Elgu, and they will happily join you and show you around and take you wherever you need to go.
Oh, there's really no need. Please don't bother on our behalf, because we just want to get a breath of fresh air. The air here is lovely, and we'll be right back.
Well, these are orders we have. We must walk with you wherever you go. You are outsiders.
I want to ask Trieto discreetly if there are any completely pitch black gnomes, because I'm thinking maybe we can get Triss to mimic a gnome and be a black gnome.
This is like
facing.
that's exciting.
There are shimmery black gnomes.
Triss, do you think you could turn it into a shimmery black gnome and be our escort?
Ooh, well, I could try. I could make for a good gnome. But Trieto, sometimes it's easier if I can really study what I have to be. I'm pretty good at making it on the fly, but I think I'm probably more effective if I can see exactly what I'm mimicking. Would you mind?
So I turn to you and I open my trench coat, and only you I flash.
Ooh, thank you. And Triss is going to use their ability, and what you see.
I'm going to point to the guards and go, "What's that over there?" Just while Triss is changing.
So what you see, and it's quite interesting, is they sort of become like a blob. If you ever watched Alton Mack, it's a little bit like that. That sharpens, and they have like quite sharp, pointy ears. One of them has a little notch in the top, and this like very, very narrow face that's also quite long, with like a slight pug nose and arching eyes, and then slightly too short arms, I think. They didn't quite see enough. Like,
I'll remind you that gnomes seem relatively childlike compared to humans.
Yeah. Like, there's like, you know, like with babies, there's the Michelin Man kind of like
yep, exactly.
curves. Yeah, exactly. So there's like the dimples and like kind of like goofy, like almost like slightly overstuffed, but like very cute pointed face with these like quite pointy ears. I'm bald and black, and then with like this you can literally see, because now of course Triss has facial expressions. It's a and they reach inside of themselves and they pull out the Lichtless banner and they wrap it around themselves like
Perfect. Looking exactly like a repurposed piece of cloth made into...
The cape doesn't work. I've just recognized the cape doesn't work. So there's sort of like this awkward thing where they think they did something great, but now they realize they can't walk, and so they make it into a kilt.
Oh, perfect. Even better. Okay. So, Triss is now this solid black, because your surface is smooth and curved, you actually shimmer in the sunlight, and you're wearing something that kind of looks similar to other gnomish clothing that you've seen around. And when you walk confidently out in front of these two guards, I'll remind you that outside of combat, using your abilities should succeed without even a roll. So they just believe that you're one of the local gnomes that have been sent to chaperone these 4 outsiders, 3 outsiders, and 3 locals.
And to be fair, one of the things that I think maybe, and it's possibly the first time, because Triss is not normally, I think, this easily seen by everyone when they mimic. You can see that they're wearing this like tiny little gold chain with an opalescent sort of like egg that kind of shimmers in purple and otherwise, and it's just like quite tight against their neck.
Cool.
An
Awesome.
egg, you say?
Small, kind of like a pearl, like a stone, like not like an egg, but like a shaped like an egg, but
All
not
right.
size of small.
Yeah, you're walking free outside of your where they placed you, and you can just go to Trieto's parents. Yeah.
I can't believe that worked.
Oh, Triss is strutting, because they've seen how some of the other elves have walked. So and hey,
Elves?
go up. How are you? Trying really hard to like mimic the voice. Not really doing well, but trying. Super trying.
And Trieto says to Trit, I don't really know how culturally appropriate it is, but I like it.
I have been told that I'm not appropriate.
I've heard gnome facing is very offensive.
Oh my god. A few minutes later,
guys, you should have told me this before I
not hearing the rest of his conversation, you are already in the living room of Trieto's parents. Trieto, are you still stacked in the trench coat when you're in your parents' house, or did you step out?
Oh well, no, but Triss has to knock on the door, like quite importantly. Everyone has to wait. They have to open the door. We need to meet the parents. So there's a.
I think we're gonna propel past that point, and we've already in the parents' house.
I have the keys.
I'm just asking Trieto what you look like when you're in there.
So the moment that we step in and we close the door, then I drop the trench coat, and then the three brothers jump next to each other so that you can clearly see the three brothers. And we have, our eyes are a bit shiny. It's not tears, but it looks like our eyes are glazy because we're so happy to see our own home again.
And appearing from the hallway are two old gnomes, still the same proportions, the cherubic, slightly pudgy baby faces, but lined with wrinkles of old age. And when one of them is a very dark purple, almost eggplant. The other one is a light, super pale purple, almost white. They see you and they cry in happiness. They laugh and they come. They just rush over and hug you, all three of you, like a big group hug, not having seen you for years. And then they step back, they look at you, and then they notice your friends. They're with you, and they look at each other. There seems to be like a moment of realization, some kind of realization between them. They look at you and they say, "So, our sons, this is the day where you return from your voyage, from your long journey outside of no man's land. We were worried."
Mama. Mama, Papa, we are back. And we kept our promise.
You have?
Yes.
Have you found the answer?
We have found part of the answer. We have found a very big part of the answer.
We must sit down. And they walk you over and sit you down quite uncomfortably because it's not a human-sized kitchen. They sit you down in the kitchen on the chairs and tables they have there. Aklis must lean over the counter because there's no place.
I can sit on the floor, I guess.
Probably, yeah. You have to do something like that because you'll break apart any of the chairs they have there with your size and weight. And they sit you down. They serve you some fruit and vegetables and fresh water. And they ask you what are you here for? Please tell us.
I look at Grebel and I ask him, could you give me the document?
I reach inside my jacket and I hand back the original, which I still had.
I take the original, I put it on the table, and I slide it over the table to my mom and dad, and I say, Mama, Papa, read this. It's in Shorb. And I found it hidden in a temple.
They read it over. It takes them a couple of minutes. They hold it together. Each of them has one hand on one side of the page. They hold it very carefully, understanding its significance as an original document. And they read it. They seem to be a little bit confused. They look back at you and they say, Gribok, it seems to say that the gnomes and humans are special in some way?
That's right. That's the first thing I thought as well. I never expected this to be part of the answer, but I think we're getting closer to what has been hidden from us, what we cannot know by Gnome Anne. And the moment that the word Gnome Anne is said, you can see the other brother, whose name I've forgotten. You can see Musar going.
The father, Nanu is the name of your father. The very light, almost white, very pale, almost white purple gnome looks at the four other non-gnome guests, looks you over and says, if our sons trusted you to be carrying the secret, and if you were willing to join them here, you must have their trust, and if they trust you, then we trust you. Our sons have good judgment. They are not ones to do things recklessly, which means, and he turns back to you, Gribok, and the three brothers in general. It means that you must have a plan. You must have a plan of action, what exactly to do when you are here.
Well, my first idea, we have this amazing guy, Grebel, and I point at Grebel. Mm-hmm. And Grebel has the possibility, he's copying the document and writing it in common. And we plan on distributing a lot of copies in secret to different people. We will light the fire of doubt, and we will start in the underbelly of the gnome land, of no man's land, a fire that will burn the truth out of people.
Well, if you are committed to this, it means we are there with you as well. Is there any way we can help?
Yes, there is. Well, it might be a little bit of a dangerous undertaking, but copying by hand is not going as fast as we would like. And we've been to the factory where they make the books, and I think we could, in an hour or 2, 3 at night, I think if we could use the presses, we can make a lot of copies, enough to distribute.
Ooh.
But we need to get into the factory at night.
I see. Your mother speaks now, the dark eggplant colored gnome. I haven't been working there for years, but my friends there still remember me as a close companion and a colleague for many years. I have some younger friends who are still working at the factory, and I think I could probably get you in. You will have to be disguised, of course. People know your name, and you are branded a criminal.
Disguise is no problem. I have my trench coat and my hat. And we have Tris that can change into a black gnome. But for the others, I don't know how we could give you a disguise. Do you have any ideas?
No.
Oh, I could do something though.
Yes.
What's that?
What kind of thing?
Well, sometimes I can make people like I can project what I want people to feel. So I could maybe project that I want them to not see you.
Oh, really? That's quite fancy.
It would be a different use of my ability that I'd have to ask the game master, but I do think that it makes a lot of sense.
If you can phrase it as an emotion, then yes.
I think
disinterest.
Yeah.
Trust.
Ah.
Like just like that we're all super. I think it's more just like it's like a nothing to see here, just imbued with just like light and happiness and like just sort of a like, why would you even bother? It's all copacetic.
So a kind of a kind of lazy euphoria.
Yeah, just sort of that they're when they see Triss or they see the others, that it's just this radius of. I mean, it's kind of like probably smoking something Shorbish.
Yeah, cool. So again, you can just do it. Spend a use of your project emotion ability, and that means that when you walk outside towards the factory, where some gnomes later at night, where some gnomes still are working, wherever you walk close to any of them, they seem to be slowing down in their work, looking at each other in a friendly, loving manner, suddenly having time to chat and talk about the day, their work, and their lives, and not.
And it would be the perfect time to give them a pamphlet.
Yeah, so the first copies are already Grubble. Is that okay though? First copies.
Well, I wanted to hand them out earlier. It's all down to Trieto, unfortunately.
So. Okay, if Trieto doesn't stop Triss from doing that, the first copies of the flyers are already handed out.
Wait, does that mean that Triss finally gets to have some of the copies?
I think your gnome disguise plus this were such great feats of genius planning that it would be foolish not to trust you.
I like how I just got I was all like hee hee, and then I just realized that it was your idea to be a gnome. So I appreciate the let's go genius.
What was so genius. I think the person who thought that deserves.
You pulled it off without letting anyone else know that you weren't really a gnome. So
all right,
that was what Greville wasn't expecting.
You can just walk in the factory. Trieto's mother is with you, and she gets some people who know her to unlock the factory doors. Now it is after hours. The factory, they work until very late at night. It's not a long break that they get. They start very early in the morning, but there's still a few hours that they stop working at night. And after the factories close, you go there. She gets the doors open for you, and she leans over and holds you. She reaches up and holds your arm, Trieto, whoever is on top at that moment, and she tries to pull you down for a kiss and a hug before she goes away and leaves you there for your own plans. And after that awkward, almost toppling in a random pile of limbs hug with your mother, it's again just the 7 of you in the factory to do whatever you want.
I think we should take some of the paint and the glue, and we should write the whole thing on the wall. Or, like a slogan or something.
I think that might take a long time.
I mean,
we could just go to the copy room and make a copy of it, and then start the presses, and we can make a lot of different copies. I think we could fix that in an hour or 2.
I think that sounds like a great idea. Let's go to that room. You can copy things in a room. It's very exciting.
Yeah, you can definitely make a copy in common language, just like in print letters. Common is very easy to write very clearly in large letters to be very easily read. Yes, Grubble.
I'm sorry, this machine says insert paper into tray B. Which one's tray B, Trieto?
It's the one that says B.
Oh, okay, and why are we supposed to turn paper into jam? It says paper jam here.
So.
Oh, is that a gnomish delicacy?
Well, it is don't you have copiers in your?
Sorry, I think I put it in upside down, and all I got was a piece of white paper from it. I had to put it the other way up.
Yes, just don't. Okay, just let me take it.
You do it. You do it.
All right. Out of the 3 or 4 hours you spend there, 2 hours are spent troubleshooting copiers and printers, and all the rest are actually making copies. Many copies.
To be fair, copiers are notoriously bad.
Yeah, of course. Literally trash even before they were originally used, where they were made.
Yeah.
These are, by the way, steam-powered copiers. They
Nice.
Work, yeah. So there's like some noise.
I'm just imagining that like one of us has to like push the bellows kind of thing.
I can do that.
Probably Aklis's job. Yes, exactly.
And Tris definitely like jumps on it so that it's bouncing.
Yes,
the Aklis is pushing down and Tris is like bouncing.
On their knee. You're on their knee. Wherever they lift the leg, you actually bounce up a little bit.
I love that.
If you want to take some time and write it on the wall as well, you can do that.
I think I'm just gonna say like, no man is not your friend.
I mean, we might ask Drilliam if he can make a very long paintbrush out of his armor.
Oh.
And just flap his paintbrush around.
Yeah, I can. Isn't it? Don't you just have brushes around? He looks around.
But no, just so you can make it higher up on the wall.
A longer handle on the brush. Yeah, I can make.
Because otherwise, we're getting a ladder and we're moving the ladder all the time.
Sure. So he finds a brush. He actually finds a good thick brush, but then he forms a long handle that he attaches to the end of the brush, and it's like a good like 1.5 meters long. And when he does so, there's like, again, it becomes liquid, the armor around his forearm, and it starts flowing out. And while it does, the armor on his feet is pulled up and disappears, and he's like barefoot on the ground, and then it still goes up and up until it's about mid-thigh, showing the bottom. Anything below the middle of his thighs is pretty much like naked now, and he's holding the brush. You, Tris, help me find some paint.
Oh, yes. Yes, I can. and Tris like happily skips to find some paint, probably also splattering themselves with it. Not ever the kilt. The kilt goes inside for safety.
Oh, yes. Excellent.
But there's definitely going to be some like neon paint on bits and pieces of Tris.
Yeah. So then you find the paint and you help Drilliam paint, which means you right on his shoulder and direct him where he should paint the message, where it could be seen by as many people as possible. And the message is, no man is not your friend.
That was what I was thinking, like, because I thought it was funny.
Mm-hmm. Cool. I mean, he will paint what you ask him to paint. It's your idea. So that's eventually what you have.
I think if there's extra time, if that's what Drilliam is painting, then Tris is gonna like. Tris is probably gonna write things like, "Listen to Trieto. He's your friend."
Cool. So
I don't know if Trieto wants his name there, but
like one big. Yeah, Vincent.
Yeah, I think Trieto is going to say, would it be possible not to write my name on there? Because I have been branded a traitor, and they do know my parents, and I really would love if my parents were not like, murdered or abducted because of this.
Tris has already finished most, so it says just treat. And then Tris is gonna like cross what they can off, and it'll just say, it kind of looks like, because it says like, listen to, and then it's just going to be like, the guy with pamphlets.
Excellent. So after a few hours, when all the copies are prepared, there's one big message in thick letters painted clearly on the wall: no man is not your friend. And around it, many little scribbles in the same white paint, saying, "Listen to the guy with the pamphlets. Take the pamphlets. Trust what the pamphlets say."
A pile of pamphlets here, and there's an arrow pointing down, and there's just like 10 pamphlets sitting on the top of the side.
And for the record, yes, Twitch, at some point, Tris does photocopy their gnomish bum. And also accidentally their face. It was really complicated.
Okay, Cool. So now, Grubble, you worked hard for a couple of days on the boat. With all the shaking and swaying, you made 20 clear copies. You now have 2,000 flyers you can hand out.
Right. Well, I didn't know such technology existed.
Yep, it does.
So,
the paper, I'll remind you, is from all different materials. It's been recycled from cloth, from furniture that's been ground and pulped. It's made from organic material. And some of it is actually paper. Actually, was
I just
paper
realized that last week you put in a line saying something about the gnomes, but they do love recycling, and I'm like, oh, that was funny, but it's true. I hadn't made the connection.
They do love recycling, yeah.
Some things uttered in this game actually make sense. Around 15%. Yeah, you have all these flyers. My
question is, at this point, have we completed a goal?
Yes, we have.
You almost certainly have, but I would still like to know what the end of this sequence is. You need to be out of the factory, and which way do you go? Because we're nearing the end of the episode, and I want to know, like, do you stay and do something else during the day after, or what?
What time is it now? In the game, is it night? Is it almost morning?
So it's night. It's not yet dawn. The sky is still completely black, but they open the doors before dawn, so it's actually very close to the start of the working day.
I think Trieto is going to say to the group, I think we still have some time. I think we should put a lot of flyers in different mailboxes of everyone.
Right. I'm just sort of worried in the long term, because at some point these researchers are going to show up and we're going to get in trouble.
Yes, we'd better get out of here.
Okay. All right, so all of you help walking around no man's land putting these flyers into mailboxes, or do you?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you?
Oh, for sure. Yeah? And anytime Triss sees anyone, Triss will either just directly hand it, still exuding the just general Trissiness, but they'll put a pamphlet in a pocket, or they'll hand one, or just it's good fun.
So you walk around. Do you split up, or do you go all in a group?
Probably in 2 groups.
2 groups?
Yeah, I think that's the safest. You never know.
All right. So
I somehow doubt I've been allowed to go by myself. Let's be realistic.
What are the groups? Which groups?
Well, let's have one big strong person in each group. So Aklis in one group, Drilliam in the other.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Grebble's gonna look briefly at Drilliam and say, "I think I'll go with you, Aklis."
Okay. So Drilliam,
just staying focused.
Drilliam had a lot of fun with you, Triss. He actually laughed and laughed around a little bit, which he doesn't do very often while you're repainting the message. So he offers for you to join him, and he says to Trieto, "I wanted to help, and I hope I did what I could to help you in your cause. Is it?" You realize it's just the beginning of what you're doing here, right? You have a lot of work still to do, a lot of dangers to face here in the place that was once your home.
I know, but if it wasn't for you people, the fire of rebellion would not have been ignited. I mean, we have all been having the same question. Our existence has always been unexplained, and thanks to you, I can finally bring a piece of the answer home. And with these pamphlets, there will be questions. The fire of doubt will have been ignited, and it will burn through this country with the truth. And for that, I thank you eternally.
Okay. That is definitely enough to convince Drilliam that he did good, and his promise to you to help you in your igniting the rebellion has been fulfilled. He shakes your hand, all 3 of you, and he salutes you and says goodbye.
Are you going, Drilliam? Because
I'm going with you. Once we're done with this job, are we getting off the island? It seems like you want to.
But I thought you wanted to come here. I mean, people speak Shorb in the future. Maybe your answer is here.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to ask you, actually. What do you think about that? Where else can we look, and what can we do to find out more about that?
Well, I mean, how big is the island? Are there other places on the island that we could go to try and find? I mean, no, hold on. I'm just talking as I think. Because we brought... The original intention coming here was to introduce Drilliam to Gnome Anne. And now we know Gnome Anne is not necessarily a good person, but maybe we could still go meet Gnome Anne and pretend we had nothing to do with this rebellion that's suddenly starting to form on her island.
I'm all for an infiltration mission, yeah.
I'm just sort of... I don't know where else Drilliam should be. We brought him here because we think this is where he finds out what happens in the future.
All right.
I don't feel the need personally as Matt or Grebel to stay on Gnome Anne's land, but I do want...
Drilliam.
I want Drilliam ... to get his goal of
I do
knowing where he came from. So this is this could definitely be a separate goal. If you're going to do that, it's going to be an extra goal to do, like to help Drilliam find out about his the future and what happened where he came from.
Yeah.
So you could just choose to do that. Do you want to as a group, the three of you?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So that means that the rest of the night before dawn is you walking around in two groups, putting leaflets into mailboxes and underneath doors, like sliding them underneath the doors of houses, just to make sure that as many people around this city. By the way, the city of Swabia. It says it right here on the screen. Their main city in No Man's Land is Swabia, and that must be where you are, because it's a big city, right, like with the main harbor where all the production is being done. So on the other side of this city, which is not big, it's not a big city, it's a small city. On the other side of it, there is the temple where No Man lives. It's not a palace, although it is a big, impressive place. It's technically a temple. So it is actually, you can walk there quite easily, even today if you want to. All right, so
So, I guess, well, do we all want to go see No Man? Are we happy with that? Or is that something you don't want to do, Aklis or Triss? Because I'm thinking...
Oh, I think we should go and tell No Man a piece of our minds.
That is indeed one possible strategy. I'm just saying I don't think Trieto should come with us, because that might mean we never get close, and also, wanted, criminal, parents, murdered, that whole story.
Tale as old as time.
Aklis, your opinion?
Aklis doesn't really have a strong opinion on this, so... let's go see Gnome Anne.
All right. Okay, so it seems the group is in agreement on helping Drilliam by going to see No Man and trying to see what kind of information you can get from her or from whoever is there. And that means that when the sun rises, after it's already up in the sky, the city is colored in the purple and orange colors of the early morning sun being filtered through the clouds. This and dusk being the only two hours in the day where it actually seems like the land around you is colorful, full of nice colors all around, not just brown and gray like it really is during daytime. You look at a city which is waking up, into a different reality than it's known yesterday. Literally a different reality. A new piece of information has been revealed to them that many of them read and actually don't even understand, but many of them do, and the rumor spreads quickly. Those who aren't in the know are being filled in very quickly by neighbors, friends, colleagues, and workmates, and they Trieto, you looking at the main production hub from around the corner of one of the warehouses, from a little hiding place you've made for yourself, just to see how this morning looks. You see the first morning in quite a while, in years probably, where gnomes gather in this one of these central places of Swabia, one of the most busiest central places in all of No Man's Land, and not to work, but to share information, to talk to each other, and to decide what to do. And this is something that the three of you in Drilliam, you don't even see. You're standing too far away from that. You already regrouped together into one group in another part of the city, overlooking this area. You see the gnomes gather, but you don't see what they do. You don't see Trieto. You don't know where they are at all. And you turn and you go to your next mission, your next goal, toward No Man's Temple. Right at the second where Trieto deliberates among yourselves, talk and decide what is the right moment to come out of hiding and show your face. Is it now or is it later? Do you let the pot boil a little bit more before you reveal yourself and tell them that you are the one? And this decision and its result will be revealed later on. Right now, we're leaving you behind to make your own decisions and to keep to light and stoke the fires of rebellion. That is the end of tonight's episode. I want to say thank you very much to everyone who came and watched us. It was very lively and very punny in chat today. Lots of fun. Thank you again to Vincent for joining in for an extra episode. It was very, very appropriate. I think we got a really nice conclusion of this story, and we got an extra goal out of it. You're going to stay on No Man's Land next episode for 1 or 2 more episodes. And thank you for everyone who's watching us on YouTube as well in the future, if you are. Thank you for our new followers. Someone whom I suspect, I don't know, all these weird usernames of people who I think are like bots. One called Twitch Setup Tool. That's a real person, right? That's an organic flesh person for sure, right? And not a futuristic assassin of some sort. And somebody named Strawberry OSS, spelled a little bit weirdly, but I think I'm pronouncing it that correctly. Thank you for the new follow. If you're new to the channel, follow us right now. Come join us next Monday, 9 p.m. Israel time, 7 in the UK, 2 p.m. EST, and 11 in Calgary for another episode of Questers of Yalpelor. And until next time, play hard, stay safe, and good night.
Bye.
Bye, Vincent.
Goodbye. Goodbye.